make it even closer, and you blocked the shot. Tell me how you saw that play develop, and if you thought maybe it jump-started your guys a little bit in the second half.
I'll be honest with you, I don't even really remember what happened before. I remember the block, but I just saw the guy leaking out, and I knew that if he scored, that would be a big momentum changer. So that's what I got it.
I don't know about you guys. You guys started off pretty good, pretty big lead. They just kept coming back every so often. You guys would pull away. What was it kind of that end of the second half, or end of the first half, second half, where they kind of made their sort of runs throughout the game?
Yeah, you got to give Weber State some credit. They made plays, and they got players that can make big shots. And it felt like we'd get to 15, and we just couldn't get over that hump. But they hit some big time threes, and just kept battling us for 40 minutes. So it's a good win for us.
It seemed like you guys were really focused taking it to the rim. Very few jump shots to start out and during key stretches. Can you just talk about that focus and how that helped you guys?
Yeah, I think one of our keys for the game was to attack. Coach Rose always talks about attacking, and so we wanted to be the aggressor coming out of the gates, and so we tried to take it right at them. And Weber State's a team that wants to run a little bit, and they like get down transition. And so those first 5 minutes, I think there was a ton of energy, and everyone was kind of excited. So we just took it right at them.
13 boards, and Kyle had 10. You guys were leaders in boards. Talk about the effort there and just clean up the class like you guys did.
Yeah, it's been an emphasis for us in practice the last couple of weeks. Especially the guards. I mean, you got to give these guys a lot of credit. They're the ones battling, Boy and Tresnet, and I mean, those are big dudes, and so they take care of those guys, and so it's easy to track down the ball after that.
This is the second game that Matt Carlino's gotten hot pretty quickly. What does that do for the rest of the team when he's able to draw some attention to himself that early on?
Yeah, it definitely helps us. When Matt's playing well, it seems like everyone else is playing well and kind of steps their game up. And so when he's right, everyone else is right.
You guys seem fairly comfortable with all the new guys out there. How do you think you guys played together in that first game, kind of all the plays and just being in a mesh with everybody?
Yeah, there's definitely stuff that we need to work on, but I think overall it's a good win for us, and I was happy with the way our guys played and just battled for 40 minutes. And like you talked about earlier, they kept coming back, and our guys just kept battling and making plays.
Eric, I came in a bit late. I think you were already asked this, but can you talk about your effort in the second half, particularly that block on that fast break? You've already been asked.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Well, I just told them, I don't really remember what happened, if we turned it over or what, but that's when we were starting kind of their biggest run and cut it to the closest it was. And I saw the guy leak out, and so I knew I had to track him down and get him.
Is that where you see your role on this team? Maybe an enforcer like that, a guy that can help out, just hustle plays, blocking shots?
I think that's definitely been a point of emphasis since the exhibition games, just seeing how I've adjusted and then what I need to do to better the team.
I appreciate you answering the questions.
Anything else for the players?
Eric, I'd like to ask you, how was this different from the first two games, which didn't officially count? And then how does this feel since you just came off a high school season? What's different?
I think this game was kind of comparable to the first exhibition game, just the next step. Kind of got winded a little bit in the beginning, and I think just when the lights come on, and I mean this is the biggest stage I played on, that it kind of took me by surprise, but hopefully I can bounce back like I did from the first exhibition game to the second, and then be able to play better on Monday.
Tyler, the new handshake rules, what do you think now that you've had a game with it?
I don't really know how I feel about it yet. There's times when they call it every single time, and then sometimes they let stuff go. And so I mean, I think it's just like in previous years. You have to see how the game's being called and just adjust to it.
And the new the offense seems to be a little different, kind of dribble, drive, handoff, as opposed to get into the post and cut. I guess, how was that adjustment? What do you think of the first game?
You know, I love that offense. I mean, I think when we get into ball screen situations, that's where our team is good, and when we're sharing the ball in that offense, and the dribble, drive, and handoff, that's when we get good looks and those drives right at the basket. So there's a few things we need to clean up, but I think we're headed in the right direction.
Anything else?